Hey, Wayne DeFrancesco here, and we're going to take a look at Ian Poulter. Got a couple of nice shots of him at the Masters. Very colorful guy and a great player. Already won the match play this year, and had a very interesting swing. A lot of neat things about it. So here we've got a shot. You'll notice the camera's moving, but luckily it's fixed behind him, and the only thing the guy's doing is moving the zoom so it doesn't change the lines. What I do, if the camera jostles around sideways or up and down, that changes it, but it won't change it since it's only getting a little closer. Now it would change it to the side, but not when we're looking straight at him, like the camera's perfectly situated again here. So first thing to notice about Poulter's setup with the driver is how erect it is. Very little knee bend, very little bend in the upper back. Pretty standard shaft position. It points right up at his belt buckle, which is kind of what I usually tell people I sort of like them to do. But you can see it here. He's going to have to add a little posture here, and interestingly enough, if you watch him compared to what Mickelson does, it's completely the opposite. So here's a guy that moves his head way forward when he goes back. The right leg sort of stays, actually gets a little straighter. And since he's leaning forward, it's pretty hard for him to take it back on the shaft plane. So he's going to get it up in front of him a little bit. And you can see that a la Tiger, the shaft here is slightly flat in this position. So again, here's a guy whose grip is probably a little bit on the weak side. His wrist is neutral to a little flat, and the face is not shut. So his grip is a little weak. Now, this would be a pretty standard position had he bent over more at address, but you can see that the interesting thing is he's leaned out on it. But here's the things that I like in the swing. His head lowered a little bit. His left arm is pretty high up on his chest. The right arm is slightly down, but still, it's not way down across him. The hips, now here's what I like to call symmetrical knee movement. It's even on both sides of the original line, so you can see that to me that's a balanced lower body movement, even though he added posture and leaned forward at the top. Now, so from here, what I always look for in the forward swing is I see an immediate shift to the left at about 45. Now, there are some people that see that as a lean into the front of the left foot first, but I don't see that. I see that this thing has to be going out of the way, and I'll show you another swing in a second. Now, this is what a good swing would tend to do. You can see that the pass-by point here is perfectly on that up move. So when he goes back, there's his left arm and hand position passing by his chest. He goes up, he comes back, that thing hits it right on the money. Now again, he's not going to hit the shaft plane perfectly because look where his head is. It's still way out. It's still way out from where it started. But if you watch the leg movement, this thing will come around nicely. And watch the hips. Right in the box. Now, the reason that he's out of the box on that side is that he didn't have any knee flex, so it's not a normal. That's not a normal box, kind of narrow. But you can see the depth of the hip. So when he moves the club down, again, he's doing kind of what Tiger is trying to do, where he's rolling his arm down the chest, and look at how the shaft comes in above the right forearm. So this is the anti-stuck swing. This is a swing that won't end up getting him in trouble. You can see it here. You can see that leg movement a little clearer. Here's the head going forward, hands slightly up and out. So the initial movement is to get the shoulders a little flatter, lift the club a little more. He's lifting it with his hands a little bit, but leaning into it. And then the real cool move for him And again, the club is never even close to being across the line. So, I really would rather have the club left than right, although not a huge amount. So now, if you watch closely, watch the legs. Here's the first move. You can see the movement of the left leg is back. At least that's what I see. You might see something different, but that's what I see. I see that leg moving toward the heel immediately. And when that happens, he can roll his left arm down the chest with that added posture that he got. So here's the angle. Now you compare that to what he was doing at address there. You can see what he's doing. So increasing the posture, which is something that I really like in a swing, which is what compressing does. When you deepen the hips and the head lowers a couple times, you increase posture, and that allows your left arm to work more vertically up against your chest, and the club can come down above the right arm and not get stuck behind. Now, if I was going to do anything with this, I don't know, I'd try to get rid of that forward lean and sort of set it up so he didn't have to do that, just to make it a little more consistent. And he could also get a little better footwork going on there with the right heel maybe dragging in. But certainly at the end of this, I love the way he's like Sean O'Hare. These guys are like Gumby. They can just sort of do anything with their body. I had one swing. So here's an iron swing. And again, the interesting thing here is the nice neutral wrist position, slightly laid off. Now you can really see the face there. It's down. It's kind of open relative to the wrist. And here it's real obvious when the hips move. There's a rotation there, and look at the club roll down from where it is up here. You can see it change angles this way, and then continue to change angles to here. So that's that action that keeps the club from getting trapped under. In this shot, he just stoned. He hit it like 2 feet. And then generally, he's great. His tempo is fairly quick. I kind of like that too. So it's very aggressive. And there's the shot. Very nice. All right, that's Ian Poulter.